Hi, Arcfieldweather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Wednesday morning, June 14th. An active weather pattern really setting up for much of the eastern part of the nation. The Mid-Atlantic region has undergone an extended period of dry weather that was kind of broken the other day with a decent rainfall, especially north of the Pennsylvania-Maryland border, places across eastern Pennsylvania, western New Jersey, northern Delaware received anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of rain, maybe even a little bit more in some spots. On Monday, a decent day. On Tuesday will be followed by unsettled weather. Today, yet another system is driving south and east from the Great Lakes into the Mid-Atlantic, into the Northeast U.S., causing some more shower and thunderstorm activity. Another system will do the same on Friday with more showers and thunderstorms in the Mid-Atlantic, Northeast U.S. Probably a pretty decent weekend shaping up, although certainly cannot completely rule out a shower or two on Saturday, especially north of the Pennsylvania-Maryland border. And then another system likely to bring some more rain, or at least a threat of rain, into the Mid-Atlantic region early next week, somewhere in that Monday, Tuesday time frame. Before we get to the continental U.S. weather conditions here, just wanted to start off with a couple of interesting maps. This is the latest sea surface temperature anomaly map from the Canadian Met Center. A couple of highlights really jump out at you here as we reach the middle part of June, and we're getting more and more into the tropical season for the Atlantic Basin. First of all, El Nino, we've discussed this numerous times in the past couple of months. Expected to intensify, and it is intensifying as we head into the tropical season here. All this area right along the equator, this is the equator right here, this horizontal latitude line right here, latitude of 0 degrees. That's the equator, west coast of South America. Temperatures in the sea surface layer quite a bit above normal, and that has kind of expanded to the west right across that equatorial part of the Pacific Ocean. So this is the development of El Nino. It will certainly play a role in the summertime, fall season, tropical weather in the Atlantic Basin, as well as the Pacific Ocean area as well. Also, El Nino can have a big impact on the upcoming winter season. One of the things we don't know quite yet, a little too early to tell, is if the El Nino will stay concentrated in the eastern part of the Pacific Ocean, or if it will end up being more concentrated in the central Pacific Ocean. That has a big impact on the winter weather in the U.S., especially the eastern part of the U.S., exactly where the biggest anomalies take place in the winter season will play a big role in the temperature pattern across the U.S. during the upcoming winter season, several months away for us to analyze that. Meanwhile, take a look at here in the Atlantic Basin, right here in those breeding grounds for the Atlantic Basin tropical season, a very impressive area of above normal temperatures, especially right off the west coast of Africa. Caribbean Sea, largely normal to above normal. The Gulf of Mexico, pretty well normal to above normal as well. So these are kind of contradictory signals. This is pretty much the reason why in our tropical outlook right there on the arcfieldweather.com website, we talked about probably ending up somewhere in the middle, somewhere in the normal range, with El Nino being unfavorable typically for tropical activity in the Atlantic Basin, and yet all this warmer than normal water in the Atlantic Ocean itself is a favorable factor. So kind of contradictory signals in terms of the upcoming tropical season in the Atlantic Basin. Well, I wanted to show one other map before we get to the weather conditions across the continental U.S. This is a forecast map from last night's zero-Z operational run of the Canadian model in terms of total snowfall amounts for the next 10 days. And very interesting what's going on here over Greenland, right here. Significant snow over the next 5 to 10 day period. And that's pretty unusual for this time of the year. Here we are knocking on the door of the summer season here with some significant snowfall over Greenland and even northeastern part of Canada itself. Some snow over the next 5 to 10 days or so, and that of course is also an important factor to consider for upcoming winter season. Greenland is certainly can be an important source of cold air for the eastern central U.S. during the upcoming winter season. So even though we're several months away, any kind of a snowpack buildup this time of the year is quite interesting to look at, and certainly something we'll monitor over the next several months. So you have the warmer than normal Atlantic, the warmer than normal Pacific Ocean, but you also have at the same time an increase in snowpack over Greenland. So all of these factors will play a role in the upcoming winter season. Of course, we'll focus in on that as we get closer and closer to the winter. Also, look at this out in the western part of Canada and the western part of the U.S., some snowfall, those higher elevation locations over the next 10 days. Well, let's continue to look at the 0Z run of the Canadian model. I think the Canadian model generally has a little bit better of a forecast compared to the GFS model. So I want to use the Canadian model here as we go through both the 500 millibar vorticity fields and then the surface maps. Just want to point out here multiple waves of energy, which is somewhat unusual as we get into the summer doldrums, into the summer season, not too far away here, about a week away officially for the beginning of the summer season. But a lot of vorticity maxima, a lot of waves of energy in the upper part of the atmosphere for this time of the year. In other words, an active weather pattern going forward. Here we begin the day on Wednesday with a pretty vigorous upper level feature sliding to the south and east from the eastern Great Lakes into the mid-Atlantic region. Already a widespread area of showers and embedded thunderstorms in the western part of the mid-Atlantic region, western Pennsylvania, eastern Ohio, West Virginia. That will all slide east over the next few hours, likely resulting in shower activity in D.C. and especially Philadelphia, New York City, and maybe some afternoon thunderstorms as well. Now, with this in the upper part of the atmosphere, that's leading to colder and colder air aloft. It helps to destabilize the atmosphere and kind of increase the chance that hail could develop. In some of the afternoon thunderstorms. You could have some small hail with kind of a lowering freezing level aloft with this colder air moving in. Now let's move forward here. We'll see continuation of active weather with multiple waves of energy. Again, this is today. It slides to the east by tomorrow, probably a break in the weather, a nice day on Thursday in the mid-Atlantic region. This is the Thursday afternoon forecast map. But look, right on the doorstep come Friday morning, another wave of energy, another vorticity max slides from the Great Lakes south and east into the mid-Atlantic region. Look for another round of showers and thunderstorms on Friday in the mid-Atlantic northeast U.S. Then we move forward here. Could squeeze out a decent weekend, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, but with this energy aloft, certainly cannot rule out a shower or two on Saturday, especially in New York City, maybe all the way down to Philly. Less of a chance for that in D.C. And Sunday, probably, again, squeezing out a pretty decent day, albeit quite warm. I expect Father's Day, Sunday, to be quite warm. Temperatures probably reaching the upper 80s in D.C., maybe the mid-80s in Philly, low to mid-80s in New York City. It's a little bit above what we've been used to with these comfortable temperatures of the past several days. And we go into the early part of next week, and you see yet another system starting to take shape over the Midwest by the time we get to late Monday night time frame. This very well could result in another round of showers and thunderstorms in the Mid-Atlantic region, northeast U.S., somewhere in that later Monday night, Tuesday time frame. A lot of activity out in the northwestern part of the nation as well. Remember, we saw even some snow accumulation over the next 5 or 10 days in some of the highest elevations in the interior western U.S. and certainly across western Canada as well. Well, let's wrap up with the surface forecast maps from the operational Canadian model here. And here we have that a wave aloft in a surface low pressure area as well as we begin the day here on Wednesday. 998 millibar low. A lot of showers and thunderstorms across Ohio, western half of Pennsylvania, West Virginia, western New York. That will just slide to the east. The best chance for rain today will again be north of the Mason-Dixon line. Similar to Monday, the heaviest rain that fell was Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York State. Lesser amounts across D.C., for example. That same kind of pattern looks like it'll form for today's rainfall activity, with lesser amounts, lesser chance at D.C. compared to Philly and New York City. Let's move ahead here. We'll see this particular model. GFS as well, putting out more precipitation. Basically, Pennsylvania, Maryland border and north certainly can get some showers down into D.C., but a better chance north of the Mason-Dixon line. That scoots on out by Thursday. We have a pretty decent break in the weather on Thursday in the Mid-Atlantic region. A lot of showers down across the deep south on Thursday. And then yet another system, pretty much the same pattern, drops south and east from the Great Lakes into the Mid-Atlantic region for Friday. This could very well produce showers and thunderstorms all the way down into the central part of Virginia. I think whereas today and Monday's rainfall was primarily concentrated PA, Maryland border northward, this looks like this could hit the entire Mid-Atlantic region, both the southern Mid-Atlantic and northern Mid-Atlantic on Friday with some showers and thunderstorms. Now, that only slowly pulls away, and you can see here little depiction of some shower activity. Philly, eastern PA, Allentown, maybe in New York City. Partly sunny skies on Saturday, but cannot rule out a shower or even a thunderstorm on Saturday, with still some unstable atmospheric conditions on Saturday. Then we get into the day on Sunday. It's the Sunday morning forecast map. Father's Day Sunday. Looks like probably a dry day with plenty of sunshine and quite warm. Probably the warmest day of the next several days here, with highs again likely to reach the mid and upper 80s in D.C., maybe the mid 80s in Philly, low to mid 80s in New York City, again with plenty of sunshine. And then upstream over the central part of the nation, we have another system starting to take shape here later Sunday into Monday. By the time we get to Monday, it reaches the Midwest, and this ultimately could produce another round of showers and thunderstorms in much of the eastern U.S. by the time we get to late Monday, Tuesday time frame. A little too early to pinpoint that as well, but certainly up to 3 chances for rain in the Mid-Atlantic region over the next 5-6 days or so. One today, another threat on Friday, and yet another threat probably Monday, Tuesday time frame of next week. So quite an active weather pattern overall. Very interesting look to the sea surface temperatures as we get into the summer season, into the tropical season, and very interesting to note the significant snowfall for Greenland, northeastern part of Canada, over the next 5 or 10 days or so. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, this has been meteorologist Paul Dorian.